in the last century there was this great Indian sage, Sri Aurobindo, who began to bridge this gap between evolution and religion, evolution and spirituality. He was this incredible thinker, and he had this vision where he was able to see that God is not only the vast, spacious emptiness of creation, but also that God was this dynamic, evolutionary energy. This evolutionary force that had come to earth and that was growing in human form, growing in animal form, growing as the planet itself, as the very experience of evolution itself. But in the past thousands of years, since the dawn of spirituality, because the teachers of spirituality, because the sages of spirituality did not have an evolutionary worldview, because Earth was seen as this harsh place, a difficult place, a place of tremendous suffering. Because of this, oftentimes spirituality was taught in a way as something we needed to use, a form, a practice that would help us to escape this world. But what Aurobindo brought forward was this question of what if that wasn't the end of the path? What if Buddha only realized half of the truth? What if there was more? And because of the recent breakthroughs in science, in evolutionary theory, we're able to see that the enlightenment, the freedom that the Buddha experienced, yes, was one level of freedom, an absolute level, an incredible level, where he was able to rest in this timeless space in nirvana, beyond mind and beyond ego. But what evolutionary theory brings forward is, what if the ego wasn't something that was bad? What if the ego was not a mistake? What if man and earth in our human form was not a mistake, but something that was evolving and growing? What happens to our spirituality when we begin to open the doors to, yes, vast timeless freedom, but also a timeless freedom in which God can fuel this body, fuel this mind, transform our very nature, and that we can become a new kind of man, a new kind of woman, a new kind of human being that is greater, a divine being here on earth. What if the entire cosmos was evolving? When we begin to shift our worldview, it begins to open up so many potentials, so many new possibilities, so many more incredible experiences. And so instead of us sticking strictly to a Buddhist path or a Hindu path, a yogic path, a Christian path, a Sufi path, what if, yes, we honored those paths fully and built upon them and moved beyond them? What if we opened our hearts, our minds, even our very ego, our egoic nature, to the grace of God, and allowed God to come down through us and to transform us into something greater, something more incredible, something more divine? Is that a possibility for us? The only way we'll know is if we are willing in a humble way to open our hearts fully, to open our minds fully, and to have this willingness of attitude of saying yes to change, yes to growth, yes to evolution, and to treat evolution as one of the highest forms of God's grace. To see the evolutionary force as a field of change, a field of growth, a field of transformation, as a field of love that's growing and evolving each and every one of us. Evolving our collective consciousness, evolving our human nature, evolving our planet. As we embrace God in this way, as we open the doors to an incredible potentiality, something that perhaps we have never seen yet here in human form. And so it's an exciting time to watch as this transformation happens. As we outgrow the old structures and the old ways of being and open into something unknown. Yet it's not a dark and scary unknown. It's an unknown that grows and builds upon the wisdom and the beauty and the intelligence of the past and creates new and greater things into the future. The only question is are we going to get on board? Are we willing to courageously open our hearts and say yes to this divine intelligence, this divine movement of love and awakened consciousness?